Now, I'm not one of those guys who says, hey, it's almost 2025. You've got to come up with a New Year's resolution or anything like that. I think each day should be relished and enjoyed. But here's the thing. I just read an article a couple days ago from the New York Times, and it was specifically talking about what the marketplace looks like going forward for craft breweries. And I wanted to now kind of talk a bit about that. I don't think they necessarily broke any ground. I don't think anything, if you haven't read the article, I don't think if you did, you'd say, wow, I can't believe that, or that really opened up my eyes. But at the same time, I think it starts to set the table for us. I kind of want to talk a little bit about what I read in that article and then also add a couple of things of my own and give you kind of an idea of how, if I was in your shoes, if I owned a craft brewery, what I would do going forward and how I would make sure 2025 is going to be the best year ever for me and my brewery. They provided some stats. I want to share them with you. I think they're indicative of what you do probably feel and experience as an owner of a craft brewery or somebody who works in a craft brewery. Right now, across America, there's about 9,500 breweries. 2024, up to March, is where this data had recorded. It seems like we're going to see a 3.1% drop in sales volume for stores compared to 2023. At the bar restaurant level, sales have declined 4.7%. And that's alcohol as a whole. When you take a look at craft breweries alone, the drop is more precipitous. 5.3% in stores, 6.7% drop in the bars and restaurants. What we glean from all of this? Americans buying less beer. They're drinking less alcohol as a whole, and options like spirits and canned cocktails are becoming more popular than ever. As a craft brewery, let's be honest, right now you're kind of swimming against the tide. And for a very long time, you were swimming with it. So to think that what you did when you had maybe growth on your side is going to provide you with the same level of solutions and success when the tide's going in the exact opposite direction, when the marketplace is working against you, is probably not the best way to approach things going forward. So let's talk more about what we can do to improve things and some ideas for 2025. I'm talking about things that won't take a lot of your time, but will produce great results for you. Not only are folks drinking less craft beer, but just about everything as far as producing and putting it into the bottle or glass for them has gone up. So the cost of making it has gone up and the consumption level's gone down. I've experienced that with a business that I owned where marketplace has shifted, and there are two things that I wanted to make sure I did. I wanted to reach more people, expand my universe, and get the folks who are in my universe, i.e. my customers, to consume more. Those are the two levers that I felt like would be critical for me to have success going forward. And I think you folks, as somebody who owns a craft brewery, you're in the same situation. Now, one of the things I think that was smart that they talked about in the article was this concept of brewing less varieties of beer. They didn't touch on this, but of course, that can reduce your overall cost of producing what you have in your tap room or what's going out of your facilities to stores or other restaurants. The concept of having a very small beer menu is nothing new. It's very commonplace in Europe. It's also very commonplace in some places in the United States that have been around forever. A place that I love and have been going to since, honestly, before I could legally drink was a place called McSorley's, which is in Lower Manhattan. They have two beers. They have a light and a dark. That's their options. You have, you've got choices, A or B. Now, from a production standpoint, if you reduce the number of different options you're going to offer folks, what's going to allow you to do is hopefully proportionally bring down some of your overall costs because you can buy more of certain ingredients and hopefully then your cost to produce a barrel of beer goes down. I do think you need to have a revolving tap element to your business, unless it's completely moves away from how you think you should operate. For the most part, I think a craft brewery today, have your 2, 3, 4 set in stone beers that anybody visiting you any time of day or night, any time of the year, are going to have those options available to them. But then the concept of having some taps that are going to rotate kind of give folks the best of both worlds. And it also allows you those consistent beers that you're always producing to refine them and make them the very best that they can be. Because one of the things to do when a marketplace is shrinking, like what we're seeing, is raise your quality up. And this is a great concept and a great way to be able to do that, so that the beer that you are producing on a regular basis is going to be the very best beer you can put out of your facilities. So I would strongly consider that going forward. And I touched on it briefly, but that idea of expanding your customer base and increasing your customers and their visits and their consumption, those two levers, let's talk a little bit more about those. The four biggest parts of them, four biggest parts of your marketing mix need to be your loyalty programs, improving the quality and consistency and content of your social media posts, making sure that you have a strong, defined brand for your brewery, and then direct marketing. That's email, SMS, and even direct mail. I have covered these concepts in depth in several other videos. I'm going to put them all in the comments down below. In addition, I want you to think a bit outside of the box when we talk about creating partnerships, because 2025 and beyond, that's going to be more critical than ever before. What they'll do for you is they'll increase your brand awareness, they'll increase sales opportunities, and they'll better connect you with your customer base while expanding what your customer base is. I don't think anybody can argue that all of those different elements right there are all positives. So look for different partnerships. They can be bar restaurants. They could be completely outside the realm. It could be if you have a local animal rescue society nearby. Do something with them. That would open you up to a whole world of folks who maybe haven't thought about visiting your business or trying your products. But because you've now partnered with something that's near and dear to them, they're animal lovers like myself, and they support their local animal shelters. Now, what you've done is you have connected with them in a way that's very visceral to them, and they're going to view your business in a completely different manner, and a much more positive one. Now, the way I would view 2025 and some things that I'm going to be sharing going forward with you, I think you need to do things better, and I think you need to look at work as working smarter and not harder. You guys put in a massive amount of hours. It's a difficult business to run. I get it. I've been there. Now, I'm going to be sharing going forward some ways to help you from a marketing standpoint specifically, to make sure that you're able to use your time better and get better results for what you're doing. And I'm sure you're, like everybody else, you're hearing about AI. What I'm going to do is I've got a good understanding of it. I use it in different elements of business that I'm involved in. I'm going to share with you how this tool can be used to save you time. You can use it in situations to help you get different ideas, to review certain things you might have put together. It can help you to accomplish many of the tasks you have to do, you or someone on your staff. They can do it faster and oftentimes better because of the speed and consistency that AI can show for you. It's not going to replace things in your business. I don't believe that may or may not happen down the road. I'm not into predicting the future as it relates to AI. But what I can tell you is that from the standpoint of going forward in 2025, there are elements that you should be doing in your business that AI can help you do faster. And I will be sharing videos specifically for craft brewers, as well as it can apply to all brick and mortar businesses. But how to make that happen going forward in 2025 and make sure what you're doing is done better and faster and easier. So do give me a follow for that going forward, because I think I'm going to be opening some doors that you may not even know actually exist, but are things that can make your brewery, as it is viewed from your customer base, better, more consistent, and more authentic to what it is you want to share with them. Another powerful tool that I want you to grasp and really run with in 2025 is a loyalty program. In fact, tomorrow I'm creating a video specifically on a loyalty program. Here's the thing. I went to a new bar restaurant with some family and friends, and they never been there. And they have this huge and robust loyalty program. I'm going to break down this program from both the point of view as me, a marketing guy who understands how pulling certain levels can get folks to, react. I mean, listen, I've generated over $100 million in sales just through direct marketing. So I understand how to, different buttons and levers on people and how folks are going to react. But I'm also going to view that from the customer situation, because that's exactly what I am. So I'm kind of going to give you insight into the best of both worlds. And I'm really excited to share that with you, because I think some of the things that they've done in this program are really pretty smart, easy to implement, and I'm going to kind of be able to tell you from A to Z and how to make it work for you. So definitely do give me a follow. I do want to share that with you going forward. And here's the thing. By putting little elements into play, enhancing how they're done, making sure there's some consistency across your staff, what's going to happen is 2025 can be the best year ever for your brewery, but it's probably not going to happen if you don't make some changes. So I like to, on Mondays, kind of sit down and have a cup of coffee with you guys. I'm using my Cape Cod mug, got a couple of these. Love Cape Cod, and I love this mug. Holds a lot of coffee and keeps it nice and warm for me. So till my next video, cheers. Here's to your success.